Well, hi, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me here in my shop so I'm not alone with this wonderful radio here. Oh my gosh, what is this doing in my shop? I broke it. I broke my radio. I use this radio daily. In fact, it's on virtually all the time, playing quietly, tuned to some shortwave station that I'm trying to monitor to kind of keep track of things over the course of the day. I walk in my office and this guy's playing. He's not in there now. He's here on my bench. Why? Because I broke it by banging the volume control knob with, believe it or not, a musical keyboard which was sitting on the bench. I just moved it, just knocked that like that, and what happened was the radio went from playing quietly to playing full blast. Doesn't matter now what you do with the volume control, full blast. And I demonstrate it if I could, but I can't at the moment because I've already started taking the radio apart before starting the video here. But that's what it does. So quite clearly I've knocked the volume control and broken the ground connection on the volume control, so it's now kind of floating, if you like, and it's unusable. This is a great radio, by the way. You know, it's modeled after the real big old military radios in terms of the size of this thing, and this was designed by a couple of lead radio designers. I don't know their names. I suppose I should. I think it was the lead designer for two big radio companies got together, and this is their attempt to bring the past into the future. That's what I believe, anyway. And not that this is a terribly brand new radio. This is probably 15 years old, 10, 15 years old. Okay, so now I had taken part of it apart. I've taken the back off. That in itself was a bit of a challenge last night, and one of the reasons why I can't play it right now, or I could actually if I plugged power in here, but there's really no need to. You're just going to hear a radio blasting. That's all you're going to hear. So one thing I learned in taking the back off, here's the back. There's the back. See the batteries in it there? Yeah, there's 6 batteries in there. But you see here the battery clips. So when I removed the back, these clips were compressed by the batteries. And I didn't realize that I was gonna yank it off these battery clips, but I did. Luckily nothing happened, nothing bad happened. They designed it sufficiently. Who's at the door there? It's my cat Shadow trying to come in. So lucky for me, when I pulled the back off, I didn't bend these things out of shape or do some other damage or do anything. So a warning, taking these apart, go real slow. If you've never done a particular radio, you're doing it for the first time, like I'm doing this for the first time, then slow and careful is what's in order. So, and I just noticed this interesting little structure right here. Let me just move the camera a bit so you get it. So it looks like that's ready to hold an antenna rod, doesn't it? Right through there. But you see the antenna rod is actually up here. One of the antennas. This is probably just the AM radio antenna, but it looks like it was originally designed to be here. Or maybe there's a second antenna that's supposed to be there. Maybe in some models or something, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I mean, the main antenna is this one over here. Over here. You know, this great big guy here. So, the deal, let's get on with the deal. The deal is I have to get at this volume control, which of course, as always, it's in the front corner of the radio, of course. So I'm going to have to pull out the works to get at the control that's behind here. I've never even pulled these knobs off. They just pull off? Sure looks like it. Yikes. Wow. Wow, what's holding that on there? Oh my gosh, it didn't move a bit. Oh my gosh. These have to come off. Oh, that just comes right off. Okay. I guess I just have to put more muscle power on these. popped right off there. Wow. And if they put these on with a little touch of glue or something. Oh, wow. That's unbelievable. I don't want to get in there and try to pry them because without a doubt you'll damage both the knob and the radio if you get in there and try to pry it. You got to pull them off. Ouch. I didn't have my Wheaties this morning. That's probably the problem. Here we go. Oh, you son of a gun, you. It hurts, you know. Let my fingers just... Okay, let's try this one again. Oh, that was easy. It always comes down to one, doesn't it? One. Okay. Booyah! Come on. I have to let my fingers rest between the inks. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna have to fry it a bit. Wow, I don't know if I can stick this weirdly shaped thing in there. Huge. Oh yeah. Now is it gonna help? Oh! A little bit of damage there. Whew. Wow. Okay. You just never knew pulling knobs could be so entertaining. These have some weight to them. Now that was the easy part. To get this off, I have looked at the manual. There is an exploded view of the entire radio. Not completely helpful, but I did see that there are these are the screws I removed to get the back off, and there's a whole bunch more of them down through here. I'm going to remove them. You know what, I'm going to leave the video going because ooh, it's not going to work. Well, I think I've done them all. So the front should come off now. I say. Can I just tip this guy right on his back here? He's going to be sitting on all this stuff. It's not a heavy radio, so I'm going to do that. Oh, I hear the screws falling out. Okay. Oh, it lifts right off. Lucky me, I think. Wait a minute, it's not. Oh, the speaker's here. The speaker's coming with it. The speaker, don't you know what? The speaker has short wires. Okay, I gotta deal with that somehow. Put this back on. Flip it over. Look at the screws that just came falling out. I didn't think I was going to succeed, to be honest with you. This happens all the time, where I'm really quite convinced I'm just never going to succeed, but I decide to plug away at it. Plugging away pays off. So here's the speaker wire. Oh, that's a power wire. Wait a minute, what is that? Oh, okay. So power wire goes through a hole here, speaker wire comes out the same hole, heads down there. The speakers can be pulled off. Got a little tape here. I don't know if you can really see all this stuff I'm yapping about here. Just pull this. Okay, and then pull these wires off the speaker. I think I can pull them. Maybe not. Maybe those are soldered. Come off the other end. Hey, it comes off up here. All this to do a 1-minute soldering job. Okay, let's flip it over again. Carefully now. There. Voila! And now I can get at that volume control, I'm pretty sure. Voila. Voila. Sorry, I said the voila. That'd be the volume control. So you see how they've done this. This is a weakness in a lot of these transistor radios. These controls. Oh, I'm going to take it back right away. I was going to say these controls are mounted onto this board, and then there's what is going on here? There's a million connections on here. Yeah, what I was going to say, may not be true. So I'm expecting only 3 terminals down here. Oh, there's a big mass of them. Holding the fort here. Wow. Let's take a really close look at this. Let us do that. Just a sec here, I gotta get my own big screen TV going. Okay, so there's the control. I gotta do the focus 100% here. Hang on a second. Everybody, hang on. While I do this, to bring up the dialog box for the camera and set the focus all the way that way. So I'm looking for is a cracked solder connection. The thing is, when I hit that control, the radio started producing loud volume. It didn't matter how I wiggled the control after that. It never once went back to normal. Well, that's a weird thing. Because you'd think if you crack one of these joints here, a little wiggling would, you'd have an effect from it. None of these look bad. Well, sometimes, this kind of stuff is hidden from view. But here's the thing, okay, so I thought these were just mechanically mounted to the board, and that's what happened, but they're not. They're actually mounted on this heavy structure. This is a well-designed radio again. Assumably, this structure here is somehow bolted onto this really securely. What else could I have damaged? Could something else have happened here? Now, almost certainly this was soldered by solder pool. soldering technique where you run the device through, basically through a pool of hot solder, will tend to overheat the smallest parts and underheat the biggest ones. Well, there's two huge solder spots here. Well, huge on the camera. Those are probably taking some kind of mechanical. They're probably there for mechanical reasons. They don't seem to go to any kind of wire lead. You know, these two connections here with nothing in it. This one doesn't look so good. This one right above my fingertip there. That doesn't look so good. I'm going to try to fire this thing up. I'm going to try to get power into it. There's another solder spot. Now, see the solder about dead center of the screen now? You can see a hole in the solder there. Well, it looks like a hole anyway. So commonly in devices like this that are pool soldered, there are a lot of heady ground connections, large, relatively large pieces of metal compared to a wire that need to come through and be soldered. And again, you know, the larger they are, the better the chance you're going to get a cold joint in here. Let's see if we can find any such things, any such big things coming through here. Ooh. So there's two there. Okay, so see those big metal pieces here. Okay, they're not big when I get my finger in there, are they? So those guys would solder poorly. Now it looks like these aren't electrical. I don't. You know, maybe there's traces on the other side of the board. They don't look electrical. They look like they're probably mechanical holes. What's up there? What is up there? What is up there? What is that? Well, I can bother getting enough light in there. Oh my gosh, look what it is. So I think, oh, what is that? I think the big bar there is kind of like a heatsink deal. We can't get a better look at it anyway. Okay, enough of that. That's fun. Fun to look at. What about up in here now? This is the control I hit. What about up in here? Oh, so there is lots of trace on the other side of the board. Oh. Man alive, maybe I'm going to have to do a poke and twist on this for a while and try to figure out exactly where the brake is. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn this guy on. There's no doubt about it. I can't see anything here that's leaping out at me. It's going to... Where's the aha moment? Yeah, that's all there is, just a moment. Okay. Let's get this guy playing. So I have a couple options here. One is I can just dial up the proper voltage and power it up that way. Can I lay this down on this now? Wow. It's all pretty solid. You have these things sticking out here. And it would probably sit here and here and here. There's one there. Yes, I think the answer is yes. I can do this without any risk. Hey, come down here to have a look. I can't imagine it's anything other than the direct connections on this, because shocking this, and it wasn't much of a shock, by the way. The shock was the result. That was the shocking part. I just can't see it delivering any mechanical shock any further into this thing except for its little footsies there. Okay, let me get the power up situation sorted out here. Okay, so We're about ready to put a little power on it now. So the clever thing I realized is I have no speaker hooked up anymore, so I have headphones. Okay, this is not the clever part. Here's the clever part, where the headphones are now. The headphones are hanging around the microphone. So you should be able to hear it just like me. Even though I'm not going to wear the headphones, I mean, the volume is full, right? So I should just turn it on and prove things are working. So first, power up. Should bring on some stuff here. Oh, I haven't plugged it in yet. I haven't plugged in the back of the radio. So that's actually running on, how is that doing that? That must be running on residual power from somewhere. This isn't even switched on yet. Yeah, it's getting fainter. Funny, okay. There we go. What is it doing now? I think it's okay. Switch it on now. Let me just close my door. Oh, it is closed. Oh, this is going to come out of the headphones, so it won't be so loud. But then the headphones are close to the microphone. I don't know what to expect. Here we go. Volume down, up, volume down. Good, so I'm in a testing position. I can do it right now. Start some right now. She should just pop quiet. Something more happened to this radio. I just realized that what I'm hearing is a fairly gentle hiss. You're getting quite a blast. Let me see if I can. You know what? I can change this all around. Hold it for me. Here we go. Watch your ears. Danger. I'm sure you can hear that hiss just like I can hear it. You don't need it on your microphone. Probably a lot better, in fact. Okay, so much for my clever microphone idea. Now I'm going to start poking around in here. See what happens. I'll just poke with my finger. Oh my gosh, this is bad news. It's not what I thought. Oh my. Oh no. I thought this would be 2 snaps once I got to here. Fix it easy as can be. Oh no. Actually break the volume control? I just tapped it. It wasn't even, I couldn't believe it damaged the radio. That's how light the tap was. Oh no. Wow, okay, so I'm in big trouble here. I got no clue. Well, I'm going to have to stop for a bit, and I really, this is really, I guess maybe I should just try resoldering these things up here. Wow. It's very strange that moving this doesn't cause it to go in and out. Okay, let me try. Is it definitely an act of desperation? Desperado. I'm a desperado here. I might get a closer look at this while I do it also. There was only one connection that looked a little odd, and that was this thing way down here. No additional solder here. Why so many pins on a volume control? So if there's a trace up on the top, maybe I can't see where it's broken. Now, if this fixes it, we'll never know which one it was. There's nothing there. Let's try that first. Just a matter of turning on the power. Hey. Still something a little funny here. That actually did it. Almost. I'd expect the volume to go to 0. And those are headphones, so that's actually quite a loud hiss, yeah. So it's still broken. I would say it's still broken. Give me something nice to poke with here, please. No, this isn't nice. This is ugly. Something nice, please. What have you got that's nice to poke with? Something's happening to the volume as I do this. These parts are so small, I have to now look at the camera to do this. See, these wouldn't take a mechanical shock from hitting the volume control. What's up above here? Take a better look. Doesn't look like there's anything more to it. The metal bracket there on the side of it. That's it. Drop the tool in the radio. This metal bracket here. It's pretty long. It looks like there's 2 tangs going through the board. 2 tangs. Well, let me see the one here. I didn't poke this. Did I poke this? Yeah, that's turned right down. That's no good. It's acting up here for sure. Is that trace there? Careful what you do there, Jim. Nothing. So I'm going to wiggle a few parts up behind the board here. Whole board moves. What are those guys down there? It seems somehow better. So maybe I just go ahead again with more solder. Just go at it with the soldering iron again. It's happening. So what have we got? I'll bet you this is soldered to a trace up above. Let's rearrange things here and take a look for that. I think I got it though. I think I know where I'm going here. Let's pick it up. Okay, so we're trying to see the metal plate. And what am I even looking at there? It's tricky getting the camera in here. It's tricky trying to get some light in here. There. Oh. What's that yellow, what's going on there? Is it that yellow? What is that yellow? What is that yellow? So I'm looking with my own eyes, and that yellow, it's really tricky to look at. First, there's a reflection in the shiny metal bracket of the volume control. But basically, it looks like, with my eye, it looks like a brass. I see a little better there. There. Oh, maybe not. So when I look at the circuit board there, it looks to me like there's a wide ground trace, for some reason full of little holes. Just the style it is. That is probably the connection to ground. I bet you if I get in there and pry right there, get some light on the topic here. Bet you if I pry right in there, I said, like I said. Okay, there's another one on the other side. And just yikes. Kind of get out of right down in here. Nothing happening. That's surprising. I'm gonna stick a stick my soldering iron right down in there. Can do it. Not with this camera in my hand though. Burning some plastic there. So that is supposed to be grounding onto this, I'm pretty sure. This plate here. The part at the back, this is kind of weird. Like that bit. Dip. Just looking for a piece of paper to make a sketch here. So looking at the side of it, I see a metal bracket shaped like this. Yeah, like that. These two tangs here appear to be going down through the board. The control's sticking out here, and then there's a whole row of contacts under here that are soldered, 6 of them behind here. This doesn't appear on the other side of the board. This appears as if this should be soldered in though, from above. That's what I'm seeing. Because how else can you make a contact with the trace, the ground trace on the top of the board? And there's zero solder in there. But when I jam it with a tool, it makes no difference. This was supposed to be real easy. Let's go again, because this did something last time. Explain what is going on. I'll take a wild shot at it. This is a cold solder connection. The metal coming through the other side is not taking the solder very well. You hear how quiet it's gone now. But I think it's precarious. Make sure it's working here. Watch. I'll just hit this one more time, and it's sticking now. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little extra new solder in there too. This might wreck it now. Isn't that strange, eh? So let me get this side here too. So I was exactly right in my theory that even having deduced exactly what the problem is, I'm still finding it hard to believe it from successive observations. That's the way it's supposed to be. I hate to do this, but I must whack upon this radio now. That's about what it took. Yeah, it's a metal piece here, Jim. I must now wiggle upon here. Okay, before I break something else. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that, you know, fits the hypothesis, everything makes sense. It's just kind of okay. Put this guy back together, and bingo, I got my fantastic radio back. This really is a great radio. Here. Okay. Okay, I think I fixed it. See what happens here. Radio's still on. The volume's turned right down. Volume's right down. There it comes again. Oh, it's because I'm turning it up. Jeez. Did I not get it? So right now, if I hook up the speaker, there'll just be a hiss coming out of it. I can't turn the volume down far enough to get rid of it. Jeepers creepers. So I don't know if you can hear the hiss or not. I can hear it. It has not changed one bit. This must be tone. What's this? This is squelch. What's this control? I can't even remember my own radio. Bass treble. bass treble squelch volume. How can this be? Well, every time I go to solder this, it gets quiet. Let's try it again. I'm going to deposit the headphones up near the microphone again. I can figure out how to do it. Okay, should be able to hear that hiss. Okay, Mr. Soldering Iron. Let's try it again. What could it be that keep soldering this, it goes away, and then it slowly comes back? A fault right inside the control itself. It's just not very likely. Let's try it again though. There we go. Everybody listening. It's quite a sudden change too, isn't it? Okay, let me pry it here a little bit. See, I don't want to put this all back together and then go, oh, I gotta take it all apart again. Look at. I just touched that. So this just continues to be a cold joint. Took off the solder, now it's good. Took off the solder, now it's good. I doubt it. Dead silent. Took off. Oh. Oh yeah, it's coming and going, isn't it? So, could it be these other ones? Still don't know why there's so many leads. Okay, I don't want to solder that one that I took the solder off of yet. I don't hear anything. Oh, now it is back. Something more needly. I heard it. I think it's all just regular contact stuff going on in there. Get a grip on that. I shorted something out there. It's hissing away again, right? How's that on the volume? Not bad. What is going on that each time I heat this up? Broken trace. Invisible broken trace. Let's take a look for that. Sound like I'm frustrated? Sure am. Broken trace. So it could be broken anywhere, but it would be quite likely right at the where the trace meets the solder. I've grabbed and wiggled all those things. Kind of see what I've done to that. That's barely. So you see that big copper ring probably passes through. How would they do that? They pass that copper ring through to the other side of the board? Copper ring that's around this thing. It's kind of what I see on the top here when I look at it is a copper ring. Looks pretty doggone soldered there, doesn't it? I really got a lot of solder on it. Not on the front part though. There's no ring there. Oh, that's kind of weird. That's right. It's the front part. It's the front part that comes through here. The other part doesn't even come through. It's just sitting. It's just sitting. So how's this making any kind of connection to anywhere? Have I got this right? Is it really that way? So I'll mark it. Mark its location here. Like this. Okay, so the red thing shows where the connection is. Oh yeah, I'm gonna see. All the way. Look from here. Oh, I'm totally mistaken. It's not the front part that comes through. Wait a minute. The front part is just sitting on the board, eh? Sorry, wild camera angles for me to operate here. It's definitely the spot. What exactly is it? So I think it's the back part of the shoe. It's the toe of the shoe that comes through. Steady the camera a little better. What if it's really the other side that's supposed to be making the ground connection? Maybe they just can't get in there to see it. It's just not going to be shown to us. Let's see it this way. Boy. It's the simplest stuff here. I could use some other words, but okay, let's solder that guy up again. Where's my solder? Hey! Who took my solder? So this is indicating to me I've been in here too long. Okay, we'll use this solder. There we go. Is it going to quiet down again? Maybe I never heated that bracket up enough the whole time. It's a pretty big bracket, really. Yeah, I can just see the way the solder is not really flowing well. Turn my soldering iron up. We're at 162. Let's take it up to 175 here. Yeah, try the other soldering iron. Radio's quiet. Come on. Hold it for a long time now. So I was explaining that these are exactly the kinds of terminals that don't solder well when you do a pool bath solder. Here I'm even having trouble with them here. That has got to be awfully hot. I'm going to do the other one too. Should heat this control rate up. She's bubbling. I just try to blow off, a bulk of the heat there quickly. Oh, did I have this camera on the wrong spot all that time? What happened there? Maybe that's blowing your ears off when I do that. Sorry about that. Let me put these back down here. Now, can we get... Let's put them over here. Let's get a little bit of WWV happening here. We're getting nothing. I don't have an antenna hooked up, that's why. Okay, there we go. Go monkey with that. I've taken 7 of its 9 lives away already. Antenna? Oh, doesn't that sound like I hooked up an antenna? So there we are, WWV. Not so much light. Oh yeah. Fading more, but it's there. 15, 140. Silence. Okay, I think I did it. Of course, I thought I did it about a dozen times here, but I think that's it. I think I'm gonna just put it all back together, but I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm not gonna rush this back together. No reason to. I can get it back together tonight, even. Just leave it out here. Hey, maybe there's other stuff I can do to it. Maybe there's more things I can break on it. So I think that's it. I'll be putting this back together. I may or may not stick it on the end of this video. I haven't decided yet. So thanks so much for watching, and let's hope it's fit. What's it doing? Oh, for God's sakes! So this is a heating up and cooling down thing that's going on here.